This is simply unbelievable, Chargers fans. The Los Angeles Chargers management has just made moves that are putting the entire NFL on alert, and what's happening behind the scenes of the franchise could completely change the team's future in the coming years. We're talking about big, bold decisions that are already having a strong impact within the AFC. My friends, it's no exaggeration to say that the Chargers' current moment is a watershed moment, and you already know how it works here on the channel. First-hand information, no beating around the bush, with all the details that fans need to understand about what's really happening in Los Angeles. But before revealing everything, let's show our support. Subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, because every day there's hot news about the Chargers coming straight to you. Now take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you might surprise even the most confident fan. Jesse Minter left his position as defensive coordinator to take over as the new head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, bringing an end to an extremely successful stint in Los Angeles. It's important to clarify that this departure wasn't just a change of role, but a significant strategic shift. Under Minter's leadership, the Chargers' defense solidified itself as one of the most consistent in the NFL, raising the team's level in crucial moments and giving the team an identity. Now, Harbaugh faces the challenge of finding a new leader capable of maintaining this high standard while simultaneously evolving the defensive scheme to face an increasingly competitive and unpredictable AFC. Given this scenario, the Chargers have already begun to make concrete moves. The franchise has officially advanced its interview process and has spoken with Aubrey Pleasant, the current assistant coach and coordinator of the defensive passing game for the Los Angeles Rams. Harbaugh's impact was evident in the 2025 season, when the Rams' defense finished 10th in the league in points allowed and 5th in total turnovers, numbers that reinforce his ability to generate consistency and aggressiveness. Furthermore, Pleasant has experience with 4 different NFL organizations, attended the University of Michigan, and is part of Sean McVay's coaching school, known for its modern, aggressive, and extremely detailed approach to defensive planning. This profile could represent exactly the balance Harbaugh is looking for, especially at a time when the offense may also undergo significant changes, with the possibility of Mike McDaniel taking over from Greg Roman. However, Pleasant is not the only name being considered. Another candidate who is generating strong interest is Zach Orr, former defensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens. This possibility is particularly noteworthy because Orr worked directly with Jesse Minter, meaning he deeply understands the philosophy, concepts, and patterns that have made the Chargers' defense function so well recently. Even with a slight statistical regression for the Ravens in 2025, especially in the number of sacks, Orr is still seen internally as a top-level defensive strategist. For the Chargers, this carries significant weight, as the idea is not to reinvent everything from scratch, but rather to stabilize, adjust, and evolve a unit that was among the best in the league last year. With Harbaugh entering his 3rd year leading the franchise, the choice of the new defensive coordinator could be decisive in determining whether the Chargers will finally break through the playoff barrier or continue to stumble over the same obstacles as always. Now comes one of the most delicate parts of this entire transition. With Jesse Minter taking over as head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, it is unlikely that he will make this change alone. Historically, newly hired coaches tend to bring along members of the coaching staff and also trusted players, those who know their philosophy and exert leadership within the locker room. And that is precisely where the Chargers become vulnerable. The team has a considerable number of players about to become free agents, and the ties between the Chargers and Ravens remain strong, even after the departure of John Harbaugh, Jim's brother, from the Baltimore team. Within this context, one name stands out above all others: Khalil Mack. During the locker room closing day, Mack drew attention for the way he positioned himself in his statements. He spoke more about the past than the future, demonstrating an unusual tranquility, almost like someone at peace with his own path. This was enough to raise a red flag within the organization and among the fans. Khalil Mack is not just another player on the roster. He is an absolute leader, an emotional pillar of the defense, and an athlete clearly at Hall of Fame level. At the same time, this is about a veteran who has previously considered retirement. The 2 consecutive playoff eliminations weighed heavily, not only on him, but on the entire group. Teammates like Tuli Tuipulotu made it clear how frustrated they were by not being able to deliver Mack a postseason victory, something that would have marked his career with the Chargers. Given this, the dilemma becomes real and inevitable. Khalil Mack can decide to end his career and leave American football as one of the great names of his generation, or he can choose to try one last run for the title, seeking the ending his career deserves. If he chooses to continue playing, Baltimore emerges as an extremely logical destination, since Jesse Minter has always valued his leadership, his presence, presence on the field and the impact he has on and off the field. Whatever the decision, it has the potential to completely redefine the Chargers' defensive identity in 2026. And now we come to one of the most delicate debates of the Chargers' entire offseason. Quinton Johnston, a first-round draft pick, is entering an absolutely crucial moment in his NFL career. The beginning was complicated, marked by extremely high expectations that didn't translate into immediate on-field production. Over time, however, Johnston has shown clear signs of improvement year after year, indicating that the talent has always been there. Even so, his future in Los Angeles is far from guaranteed, and there's a real possibility that he's living his last months with the Chargers. The franchise now needs to make an important decision regarding the fifth-year option on Johnston's contract for the 2027 season, valued at approximately $17.5 million. According to ESPN analyst Bill Barnwell, this amount isn't excessive for a second wide receiver, but the team's financial context weighs heavily. Justin Herbert already has a huge contract that consumes a large portion of the salary cap. Ladd McConkey is also due to be paid before 2027, and both Jim Harbaugh and general manager Joe Ortiz inherited Johnston from the previous administration, which naturally reduces the current management's attachment to the player, and this detail completely changes the scenario. Barnwell also highlights a crucial point to understand this situation. Quinton Johnston performs much better playing in the slot. In 2025, only 13% of his snaps occurred in that position, but when used there, he averaged 2.6 yards per route run, almost double the production he showed playing wide. With Ladd McConkey and, this season, Keenan Allen occupying the slot, Johnston ended up without an ideal role within the offense, which limits his impact and consistency. Given this, the conclusion is gaining traction behind the scenes. A trade may be the best solution for all sides. Another team could better exploit Johnston's potential as a slot receiver, and even if they exercise the fifth-year option, the total investment would be around $20 million over the next 2 years, a relatively low risk for a player with room for growth. For the Chargers, trading now would at least mean some compensation, since if the fifth-year option isn't exercised and no trade happens, the team risks losing the player for nothing. Ultimately, the Chargers are facing decisions that don't directly affect the scoreboard, but that define entire seasons and can change the franchise's course. If these decisions are right, 2026 could finally be the year of the long-awaited turnaround. If they are wrong, the window of opportunity could close definitively. So, if you want to follow every detail and every behind-the-scenes aspect of this silent rebuilding process, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because here you won't miss any decision that could change the fate of the Los Angeles Chargers.